Hello everyone, my name is Dani. Welcome back to my channel, Current Chapter. And today I'm going to show to you the 29 books that were added to my bookshelf in July. So let's talk about books. So before anything, as you might have noticed, I have new bookshelves. So this is the one I had before, and we got this small one, and this is the same size as the other one. I still have to fill them all, but I just got 29 new books, so that's going to start helping a lot already. So you might be wondering, why would someone buy 29 books? Well, I didn't. 8 of those I didn't spend any money on. So I only bought 21 books, which is fine. It's fine. 12 of those books were from Book Outlet, and there are a few surprises that I want to show you guys that I'm really excited about. And I'm going to leave those to the end, of course, because it's the most exciting part, at least for me. And I'm going to start with the free books that I got. So what happened was that I participated in a giveaway for the mall, just right by where I live. And I got $100 to spend wherever I wanted in the mall, in any store I wanted. And of course they have a bookstore. So I bought $100 worth of books in a bookstore. The first 3 books I have here are the street classic books. I have 1984, Animal Farm, and Frankenstein, all in this really cute editions that I really love. They're not super small, they're like normal sized almost, and I really like them. And I really want to read all of them. I already read Animal Farm and I listened to the audiobook, but I wanted to have it. I haven't read 1984 yet, and I started Frankenstein, but it was too boring, so I'm going to postpone this a little bit, but I will finish it. I also got Wondersmith by Jessica Townsend. This is the sequel to Nevermore, The Calling of Morgan Crow, and Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow. This is The Calling of Morgan Crow. So as a sequel of that book, I have a whole review just for Nevermore in my channel. Gonna leave it in the cards. I already read it. I love it. It's 5 stars. It's amazing. It was the first book that I got when I went to the bookstore. Like, okay, I have $100. Of course, Wondersmith is going to be in there. I also got The Demon King by Cinda Williams-Chima. And I got this book because I heard Reagan from Peruse Project talking about another series. My husband just got home and he has one of the books that I have to show you guys. So that's great timing. So I heard Reagan from Peruse Project talking about the series that comes after this one. I don't really know a lot about what this is about. It's a YA fantasy, from what I can tell. And I'm really excited to read this so I can read the next one that seems to be all the hype right now. Next I got Spellslinger by Sébastien de Castel. And I got this one because of the Newts. It's a group book for the Newts, and I don't think I'm going to be able to read it in August, although I really want to. But I still want to read it anyway. It seems like a really fun story. Again, it's an YA fantasy. The next 2 books that I got with my $100 are adult fantasies. So I have Lies in Lochlamora by Scott Lynch. I'm really excited to read this. It seems like an amazing book. And BookTube is hyping this book very much lately, so I'm really excited to read it. And I also got The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. Also, since it was released, has been getting a lot of hype, and I'm really excited to read it. It's also an adult fantasy, like I said, and it's supposed to be really gritty and gruesome, and I'm excited to see what it is like. Okay, so these were the 8 books that I got with my free $100. So yeah, all the other ones I bought. First I'm going to show you the books I bought full price because, like I said, Book Outlet, I have a special thing to show, so I'm going to show the other books first. In Owlcrate, I got my first box in Owlcrate, and I got Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lynn. And I already read it also. I didn't love it. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't super exciting. But yeah, got this from Owlcrate. So that's the special cover. It's golden text instead of silver. It didn't change a lot. I was hoping they would change more, but it's fine. I got 2 books from Book Depository, both adult fantasy that I'm very, very excited to read. And the first one is Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. The last book in the trilogy just came out, and I can't wait to read it. Emily from Books with Emily Fox, if you don't subscribe to her, you should, because she's amazing, but she always describes this as a school setting with badass assassin nuns. So really, I don't need anything else. She convinced me there. And the one that I'm most excited to read, and just like it's going to be soon because I can't wait to read this book, is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. It's going to be my first Brandon Sanderson. I'm very late to the party, so I really want to start strong with one of his books, and that's the one I chose to start. Then I got Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson, which is a sequel to Way of Kings, which my husband's reading. So this is, right now, more his than mine. I don't know what the series is about. I will read it, so I don't want to be spoiled, so I have no idea what any of these books are about. Then we also got Last Wish by this person. This is the first book. It's a collection of short stories in the Witcher universe. Again, we want to know what the book is about. I also got one that I bet a lot of people are going to be very excited for me to read and begging for me to read it soon, and I really want to, which is Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The only book I read by her was Daisy Jones and the Six, and I loved it, but I didn't love it as much as everyone else, so I'm a little bit worried with this one, but I have high hopes. And I also got The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan, the first book in the Wheel of Time series. Everyone can stop talking about it. The TV show is coming out, and this is all the hype. It's also in my challenge to read popular books from 1990. If you haven't watched that video, to check that out. I'm gonna leave in the cards as well. And I really want to read these books. Adult fantasy, and I don't know much also about it because I want to go in blind. It's very hyped. There are 14 books in the series. Brandon Sanderson finished the series, and yeah, really excited to dive into this world. The last two books that I got before I go into the book outlet purchases were two interactive puzzle books. I'm counting them as books I'm reading because they are available on Goodreads, so they count as books. And that's Journal 29, first one and the second one. So I bought this book because I saw an ad on Instagram. That was the first time I ever bought something because I saw an ad online, and I don't regret it, and I so recommend this book. It's filled, okay, I can show you. I'll show you the second one, the parts that we didn't finish yet because we wrote a lot in the book. So the point of the book is that each page has a riddle you have to solve. Then you go on the website and you type the answer to the riddle and you get a key so you can progress in the riddles of the book. And it's really, really fun. The first one is not super hard. The second one is insanely hard. We have to stop like for weeks thinking about an answer until we figure it out. Maybe we're just not that smart, but the first one was okay, so I think we're smart. But yeah, so we have things like this and this. I'm not gonna leave it there for a long time. If you try to pause it, it might be blurry, but I don't want you to try to solve it because it's the second book. So yeah, I really recommend Journal 29. I also, where's the name of the author? I can't pronounce it. It's a Greek name. Dimitris Chassapakis. Just look for Journal 29 and do that because it's so much fun. A lot of puzzles. Do it with someone if you can, because it's a lot of fun to just think together and figure out what's happening. Okay, so let's do book outlet. I have 12 books that I bought in book outlet. Okay, so I forgot to say that most of these books were gifts for myself because I just started a new job, and that was my plan when I started a new job. I was going to buy a lot of the books that I was anticipating a lot, and again, I still didn't want to spend too much money because I just got a job but didn't have the money yet. But I got 12 books in book outlet, and they're all super cheap. So you guys know book outlet. If you don't, I'll leave a link in the description. Just buy books there. It's great. So the first one is God's Grave by J. Kristoff, sequel to Nevernight, which I loved. It was a 5-star read for me, and I can't wait to read God's Grave. Then we have An Unkindness of Magicians by Kat Howard. This I was anticipating a lot, and I already read it, and I didn't love it at all. It was very, very boring to me. I'm gonna talk about it more in my wrap up, but yeah. Well, I bought it on Book Outlet, and I already read it, and it was cheap. Then I have Why We Broke Up by Daniel Handler. Daniel Handler is the guy who writes As Lemony Snicket, a series of unfortunate events. But this is YA contemporary. And I didn't say what the other one's about. This is an adult fantasy. This is an YA contemporary about a girl who's giving the guy back all his stuff and telling him why they broke up. All these little things in the middle of their relationship. I'm reading this right now, right here, and it's fine. We'll see how I feel about it as I read it. Then I got also The Caged Queen by Kristen Ciccarelli. This is a sequel or companion novel to The Last Namsara, which I haven't read yet, but hardcover edition, very cheap on Book Outlet, and I want to have the collection, so couldn't pass on that. I also have Lady Smoke by Laura Sebastian, which is the sequel to Ash Princess, which I read in, I want to say March, somewhere around there, April. And it was really cool, and I really want to see what's going to happen next. I also got Witchwood by Tahara Mafi, which is the companion novel to Furthermore, which is another book that I read last year and that I absolutely loved. It was a 5-star read, and I can't wait to read Witchwood. It's a middle grade fantasy, and it's very, very whimsical, and it's amazing. Another book that a lot of people are going to be very excited and begging for me to read, Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I have read Laini Taylor. I read Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and I really liked it. This again is a YA fantasy, and I'm curious to see what the hype is all about. I also got Vasa in the Night by Sarah Porter. I know this has kind of like a Russian folklore behind it, and it's a fantasy, and it was $1.99, so that's why I got it. The last 4 books I have, which is part of the surprise and the exciting things that I had to show you guys, are all books by Neil Shusterman. So my next, I'm gonna spoil you already because I don't know when that video is coming out, so my next current chapter challenge is going to be to read all books by Neil Shusterman because I read some of his books that are really different between them, and I absolutely love them. So I really want to read everything that he ever wrote because I think he's my favorite author of all time. So on Book Outlet, I got Everlost, which is the first book in the Skinjacker trilogy. Scorpion Shards, which is also the first book in the Star Shards Chronicles. I got Bruiser, which is not in the series, not that I know, and it's really pretty under this jacket. Can you see it? See, it's really pretty. And last but not least, Challenger Deep, of course, by Neil Shusterman. I already read this book in Portuguese. I have the Brazilian version of it, and it's also really cool. And this is YA contemporary, which is something that I don't usually like. And it was very surprising to me how much I enjoyed this book because no one else does. I don't recommend this book anymore to anyone because I don't think anyone likes it. I think I'm the only one. So there you go. Don't go away yet. I still have the last surprise. Like I said, I bought all these books on Book Outlet. They were less than $20. Some were $3. And 2 of them are signed. So the first book that I have that is signed by the author is Strange the Dreamer. So I have a book signed by Laini Taylor. Isn't that amazing? And more amazing than that, I have a book signed by Neil Shusterman. This is something that I never thought I could get unless I bought like a pre-order more expensive book that was sure to be signed, like I did with Dark Dawn, that's coming out in 2 weeks maybe, in the beginning of September. I know that one's gonna be signed, but again, it's a new release. But this one was so cheap and it's signed and I'm very excited. Okay, I think this wasn't too long. I didn't want to make this too long, so I didn't talk much about any of these books. But if you want to know more about them, you can ask me in the comments. Let me know which ones you read, which ones you want me to read the most. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't, if you want to see more content from me. Remember to leave a comment, and thanks. Bye.